different changes you have made. Okay. The different changes you have made, and you can track different people's uh, contribution to a teamwork, to a document, and we'll go over that shortly, soon. Then the first thing you want to do with Google Drive is being able to start. And easily you go to Google Drive website, google.com/drive, and you sign in with your Google account, your Gmail. If you don't have an account, you make one for free and you get access to it. And interesting point for Fresno State students is that we get the unlimited version of it for free. That means we can use as much digital space as we need without needing to pay. If we had to use it from our personal accounts, we had to pay. But it's a very good opportunity, and I emphasize that you should definitely use this more often for classes, for personal use. And then when you start the Google Drive and you log in with your account, on the left side you see this menu right here. When you click on new, you get a list of different icons. You can start create a new folder. You can upload photos from your account, um, and you can start different documents or from different apps on Google. Google Docs, Sheets, Slides, and Forms, the two that we will be covering today, Docs and Sheets, later. Then an interesting ability you have in Google Drive is that you can organize your folders. You can color code them, or you can rename them. And here is when you make your folder. By right-clicking on them, you get this menu, and you get access to organizing them, moving them, create a shortcut for different from different folders, and also adding them to your favorite folders so you access them quickly. An important part that I mentioned is that you can use Google Drive with other people for group work. And the way you would do that is when you create a folder, you right-click and click on Share. Then when you click on Share again, the menu on the right side shows up, and it allows you to enter the people you want to access your folder, enter their email, and give them access as a editor, or if they want them to only be able to view. And also you can limit access to people who have Fresno State accounts for like class projects, things like that. And moving on, an interesting thing is that you can also track you and other people's activity on a folder. Uh, and by right-clicking on folder on the folder information menu, you get the activity. And when you click on it, the menu on the right side shows up. And you see it will show you all the history. So the folders created, the documents within it, and even within the documents, you can see different people's contribution to that document. And even if something mistakenly got erased, it's not over. You can also access it and change it back. And it's great for mistakes when they happen. And with Google Drive, you can also create Google Docs, and I'll hand it to Leslie from here to explain.
Okay, hello. We are going to go over Google Docs. So Google Docs is very similar to Microsoft Word. It's a free online word processor. You're able to insert information from other Google applications such as Google Sheets or Google Forms, just any other Google applications. So next slide. So to begin is how to title your doc. On the left side, the top side of your page, you are going to double click and title your page. So next page. So sharing your doc. on the right side top where the blue little icon is, says share. If you click that, you'll have access to enter other people's Gmails. This is where you could have them as a viewer, commenter, or editor. On the bottom side, you could also copy link and share that way. You could change it to restricted, Fresno State, anyone with a link. So restricted means that only people with access can open the link. Fresno State users can access. So anybody that ends with mail.fresnostate.edu. And then anyone with the link, anyone on the internet with the link can view. So next week. So adding comments and using the group chat. When you are alone, there is no group chat. There has to be another user active on the doc. So on the top where the right arrow icon is, if you click it, you have access to the group chat. Whatever messages that you put or other users also type in, they are not saved. So when you exit the doc, they'll be erased. And to add comments, what you do is just highlight the text that you need and you right click it. You have access to the comments and you just click save. So next page. So choosing a font and highlighting text. So choosing a font on the top side of the page where it says Arial, you'll click whatever font you want. A very common font here at Fresno State is Times New Roman, size 12. And for highlighting text, if you are annotating a document, you can just highlight the word and then click the little highlighter icon near the bold, the italics, underline, and color little icons, and you just click the color that you want. So next page. Adding a header and a footer. So this you will need for MLA, APA, Chicago style. So for MLA, for your header, you would put last name and the page number. The APA, you'll need it for the running head title. And then Chicago style, the footnotes and endnotes. So that would be on the bottom. So how to add it, you double click on the very top or very bottom of your page. You'll click options, page numbers, and then start. And then you'll have the option whether you want to start your front page with number 1 or skip it. So next page. So setting alignment and spacing. So for MLA, we use the left alignment for name, date, writing, and then center for title. APA, the title page will be center alignment, and the writing will start left alignment. So what you do is that you click on the very top of the page where the little icon, where the little red arrow is, you click whether you want left, center, right, or justify alignment. So what does that mean? Is that your whole page will try its best to even out whatever text you have. I don't recommend it just because the spacing could be uneven between the words. And for double spacing, all you do is you click the icon right next to it where the arrow is pointing, and you could do double for APA, MLA, Chicago style, and then single for formal letters. Next page. Accessing tools and shortcuts. This comes in handy when you are writing a doc. So an example can be the voice typing. If you have a lot of ideas, you could use Command Shift S, which is voice typing, and you just say, you talk to your computer, whatever notes you want written down, and you turn it off, and then you could edit them. So that comes in handy. Other tools that Google Docs offers is spelling and grammar. So a Google AI will underline misspelled words and suggest alternative words. Then there's word count. You highlight the writing portion you'd like to find the word count and hold Command Shift C at the same time, or find the Tools tab's word count. Then there is compare documents. If you have 2 files in Google Docs, the to compare documents tools will create a new document that shows you the difference between them. So if you're comparing your essay with your rough draft, you could see what differences you made. And then there is dictionary. So you highlight the word you need the definition of and hold Command-Shift-Y at the same time, or find the Tools tab's dictionary. And there's a lot more that come in handy. Another one that I found, but I didn't write, was citations. So you could actually do your citations on Google Docs. If it's almost like the one search that Fresno State offers, you just put in the link of the URL onto the Google Docs, and it will format the citation how you want. So next page. So adding a table and chart. So on the top left, there is an option for insert. Here you click on the table and you get to choose what number times what you want, or you could change the table template to product roadmap, review tracker, project assessed, the launch content tracker. And then for a chart, which is very similar to a table, you have the option for bar, column, line, pie, or you could even add your information from Google Sheets. Next page. So inserting a link. So all you have to do is you copy the URL from the website that you want to paste to the Google Docs. You paste it on your Google Docs, and this is good for citations. If you want a word or a phrase to become a link, all you have to do is just highlight the text. You right bottom click on your mouse pad and you click citations. Let me see. Oh, you scroll down to insert link and you paste your URL there. And there you'll have a clickable link, and it will be like the I Love Fresno TRiO. It will be blue and underlined. So next page. For checking history, this comes in handy if you are working with a group and you want to see who is doing more work, or if your work is equally done. On the top right, there is a little reverse clock symbol, and it will take you to the edits that you or your other editors worked, and it will automatically include the names. So you could restore past versions of the doc by clicking the wanted time. So you'll have the options, and you could restore whatever time you wanted. So next page. So downloading and printing, where it says files on the top left of the page, you scroll down to download. A common download form is PDF, and that can save clickable links. If you go all the way down on the files tab, you'll have the option for print, or you could hold Command P together. Next page. Restoring a trash doc on Google Drive. If you scroll down on the left side to trash, you can find the doc that you'd like to restore, that it was trash. So you click the 3-dotted column and click restore. If you are unable to find on Google Docs, you can find it on the homepage of Google Drive. Next page. Moving on to Google Calendar. So Google Calendar comes in handy, especially when school and work is mixed up. So this contains features to organize events, manage time, and schedule. Next page. So creating an event and a task. On the left side, you click the little plus icon, and you have the option for event, task, or appointment schedule. And this is what each of them would look like. Here, let me see. You add the time, the day. If you want to add other people, you click add guest, the location. You could include your Zoom link if it's on Zoom, or any link that you are going to meet up with others as well. So next page. So sharing your calendar. On the left side where your name is, you'll click the little three dotted lines, click settings and sharing. If you scroll down to share with specific people or groups, you just have to add their email address. Next page. Accepting and declining invitations. You'll usually get your invitations through email. And if you click it, it will look exactly like this. All you have to do is click yes, no, or maybe. If you click yes, if there is an option, you can accept the invitation to choose to join in a meeting room or virtually. So next page. Okay, and I will leave it to Sophie for Google Sheets.
All right. So Google Sheets is might not seem as useful as Google Docs, Google Calendar, and Google Drive, but in fact it has uses that we can all use in our daily lives, not only for classes, because it's a spreadsheet application. You might have heard of Excel, that is a similar software, and it deals with data. And when you talk about data, you mostly think of numbers, and numbers is like mathematics class or statistics, but it can be much more than just platform to use for your homework. Similar to Google Docs and Google Drive, you can be able to collaborate with other people on it, which is an interesting ability that comes from being web-based. And you can use it on different software, so you can check it from your phone, and it has formulas and functions. Again, you might think, oh, it's the mathematics only. It might be very specific uses, and also it has customization for that you can tailor it toward your uses. Now, I want to talk about what we can use it for, and besides being able to tailor toward the homework questions that deal with data, number, and numerical data, you can use it for budgeting and tracking your costs, the money you spend, the money you make. You can use it for daily planning. Again, it can be very specific. Um, Running out. Um, um, yeah. And it could be like very planning of very normal things, daily things we would all do. You can use it to make study guides and set time limits for everything. Uh, Beyond that, you can use it for data analysis. Of course, you can like make charts, graphs, plots, you name it. And interesting uses that I use it for is for events planning and planning trips with friends, especially because, and I will show you an example I have made previously that I'm very proud of. And also, lastly, you can use it for fitness and health tracking, for example, tracking calories or tracking exercise routines. And an example I want to show, this is what I made for a trip I made with my friends. And this was for last summer. And everybody paid at the time that like they had to, and it was hard to track to for all of us to pay each other. So I grabbed all the receipts and I put it on the Google Sheet, and made this a check mark so we know who pays who owes who, and it at the end with all the functions and formulas, it calculated how much each one of us owe everyone else, and it can be even way more better than this. This is something I looked up online. Personal monthly budget templates. You can look up like Google Sheet budget templates or Google Sheet multiple templates for different uses. And this is something that is already made, and you just put in the numbers, and it will calculate for you different things and help you track your budget. And we will start with starting your spreadsheet. And we could easily, similar to how we would start a document on Google Drive, when click on new, click on Google Sheets, there's two options. Either we could start a blank spreadsheet, or we could start from a template. The templates, we could also look them up online on Google to find different type of templates. But Google itself has a set of templates for education uses. You can see here is like for gradebook, assignment tracker, and there are ones for like personal use, to-do list, monthly budget again, and annual calendar of like all the events you want to put in. And there are also for work-related templates. There's also a Fresno State section, which I did not go over. It's very specific to the office uses, but yeah, you can start your spreadsheet here. And the basic spreadsheet concepts we would start with is cells. And when you start a new document, you would see the page on the bottom right. And you can see like all the cells are arranged together on a sheet. And the rows are numbered and the columns are alphabetically labeled, and allows you to be able to address each one of the cells. And when you select and hold and like grab multiple cells together, you're able to create a range. And the ranges are shown on the top left. Here I have with the arrow. And these ranges are very useful. And when we are using functions and formulas to be able to calculate and compute different values. And another thing is when you're dealing with different types of data, for example, I'm trying to think of I put in numbers, but the numbers are supposed to mean to be a cost, for example. And another way I can put in a number, it could mean time or a day or a month. It could have different meanings. And for it to not get confused and also to automatically help us like do some calculations for multiple functions, we go to the top bar, top toolbar on Google Sheet. Then we click on the format. Then going down, on the sub menu, there's number. When we click on that, another menu opens up and we can select the type of data we want that cell hold within. And even if we want multiple cells, we can select all multiple cells and format it the way we want it. And I'm going to show you an example. For example, I'm going to make a very simple like cost tracking uh, template here. So I have items, different items, then the cost is listed there, and I put in just the numbers, but cost doesn't show like what the numbers exactly mean. So I selected the cells. I go to format, click on number, then on accounting, there's also different type of like accounting and financial related types. I just chose accounting is the simplest one, and it's formatted into um, money and cost. So it's like $100. You know that it's exactly that. Now, for example, beyond that, I want to use some simple functions. Let's say I want to find the but before I move on to that, I want to talk about also multiple sheets. So within Google Sheets, you can have multiple sheets where each one of them are separate, but they're all within the same document. This is useful where you can also reference them from one to the other, but sometimes they could be very drastically different. The one could be related to something daily, the other could be something related to monthly, and they contribute to each other. But the way you would make it is on the bottom bar in Google Sheets, there's a plus button. When you click on that, it allows you to make another sheet, and or also you can duplicate it. When you right click, you can rename, change color, and organize it the way you would like. Now, moving on to functions that I talked about earlier. Now, with the example we had, so we have the items, we have costs, and we can find out the total, right? The simplest function we can use is the sum function, which gives us a summation of the data within a range. So for making a function, we would click on a cell to write in it. We type in the equal sign. That's how functions in Excel and Google Sheet start. So we click on the equal sign and we type in sum, which is the function with parentheses open. And inside we will choose a range. Here you could all either type it the way it is formatted there. So you would choose you type from cell B2 to B4 and it shows the range. Or simply you could select them with your mouse and automatically it just fills it in. And that's very simple and easy and it gives you the total. Also, other functions you can use, I have listed them here. There's like the average function, which shows you like the average of different uh, data values you've put in. There's minimum, it shows you the minimum of the like the range you give it and the maximum. And if you guys have any question, we can go over like the exact details. There are hundreds more functions for each type of data. I'm only talking about like very simple ones where we deal with like for example money and with numbers. You can also deal with dates and days, months, finding out like how many days left to like a friend's birthday, things like that. Now I have another example here on the left side. I put in a budget and like a bit of value in there. And we could we can also, instead of just using a function, use arithmetic operations to be able to calculate something. So in the cell that is highlighted in blue, I put in the equal sign, then cell B7, which is the one holding the budget value, minus cell B5, and it shows us how much we have saved. Like this is a very specific example, but you could use all sorts of mathematical operations to make your own functions and equations. Now we move on. I mentioned that there are hundreds more functions, and you can easily look it up in support.google.com. There's a page has the list of all the functions, and you can also find them out by what do you need them for? Is it like a financial thing you're looking for to do? Is it engineering, class-related mathematics? Is it related to dates? And even like I'm talking about numbers here mostly, but you can also find lists that are related to text. Like for example, you want to find someone's um, name or not exactly someone, but like a specific name within different cells, and it will all allow it. Those functions are exist. And when you go to this list, it shows you what type of data the function works for, what is the name of the function, how to use it, like what to give it as a input, and also it gives a very detailed description of their functionality, which is very interesting, very important. Now, I want to move on to an interesting part, like making charts and graphs. I made another example with, for example, cost and budgets for each month. These are random numbers. These are not personal cost and budgets, but I'm selecting all of these data. As you can see, they're highlighted in blue, and on the top left, there's the range selected also is shown, A1 to C13, so from here to here. Now, on the top right part of Google Sheets, we click on Insert. From there, we click on Chart. Now, Google Sheet automatically gets the data from the algorithms they have. Excuse me, they detect what type of data you have and what it is exactly you're trying to go for, and it will create a chart for you that suits what you're looking for. This is what it made for me, like first try. And so, for example, it's tracking the budget in red for all the different months and the cost in blue. And there are more things to go about, and I wasn't sure if it would have been more complicated. There are different types of charts and graphs we could have talked about. There's pie charts. They don't exactly work with these type of data unless you have like very specific budget set up with different items, and you can like figure out automatically per month tell you how much you spent on what type of um, object and give you percentages. And I'm making a lot of examples like with budget because like that came the easiest. I couldn't find the course related homework that we could work on. But lastly, Google has tons of other apps. A lot of these apps I've heard have been merged with other apps or have been canceled. They're not being used anymore. I want to just briefly mention some of them I have used and hear about being very useful. On top left, there's Google Authenticator. It's similar to the Duo Mobile we use for the Canvas, Italy, or Fresno State portal. It makes sure that no hackers get into your account. There's Google Translate, and it helps you translate different words, sentences, and even like web pages. There are extensions that help you translate them from English to other languages or other languages to English. Then other ones I want to mention is Google Meet. It's very similar to Zoom, but also FaceTime. It's a combination of both where you can have a link sent to for people who join your meeting or also make uh, FaceTime video calls with other people through their like phone number. And another one is Google Slides, where we made this presentation on. And you could have animations in Google Slides. It's very similar to Google Docs with all the formatting and all the different abilities that Google Docs has, Google Slide also has. Then there's Google Lens, which I'm not sure if everybody ever heard about. You can search the internet through photos. When you take a photo of something and it will detect it, it will like find what it means, what it is, and similar things related to it. Another one that I really like is Grasshopper, and it for people who are engineers or in science classes or like coding. Uh, I believe it was for free, or it has like premium versions, but you could start learning to code different languages for free. And I liked it very much because it was very fun and entertaining. It didn't feel like learning. It was very um, game-like. It's like Duolingo, but for coding. Then there's Google Street View. I've heard of many engineers use this for the different and also not only engineers, but for planning trips where you could find out the views of the locations you want to go to. It just uses the Google Street View photos taken by Google, and you select on the map, and it will show you all the photos from the area. And yes, that was the end of our presentation. I want to stop sharing my screen. And I want to thank everyone for joining us. Just make sure you have left your name with us in the chat so we take care of your attendance. But before I say goodbye to everyone, I want to pause for a few seconds. If you guys have any questions, write it in chat or unmute yourself and ask. We're here.
Excuse me, I had a question.
All right, go for it.
Yeah, so my question was, so what app from Google can we use to learn about coding?
Yeah, so it's the one called I will write it in chat.
Thank you.
Um,
That'll be
of course. There's one called Grasshopper,
nice.
and I remember when I started with it, it was a very specific like coding language it had. It was um with JavaScript, but I'm pretty sure they might have added different languages on there. There are also, when you look that up, also similar apps would show up that make coding to learn entertaining. It's very
Okay.
interesting.
Okay. Okay. And that'll be the grasshopper one, right?
Yes.
Okay. Okay. Thank you so much.
Of course.
And good job as well.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Are there any other questions? All right. If there are no more questions, I want to thank everyone once more, all the student staff from TRiO, the pro staff, and all the students. Thank you for joining, and I hope we hear you guys' feedback for better preparation for future workshops. Thank you once again, and have a great rest of your week, everyone.
Thank you.